It is time to talk reading plans, February 2024. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the February 2024 MBR TBR thing. I made a TBR for January and I stuck to it for the most part, but I definitely got hit with more of a mood reading vibe during that month, so I picked up two things that were not on the list. So we'll see what happens in February. So we'll just say MBR for now, and that just leaves me open to doing whatever I want because, if mood reading is going to happen, we will lean into it. But for the most part, this is what I'm planning on reading. Before we jump into the list today, make sure to check in the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord should you want to come along for the ride. Now, on the list this month, we have got 9 books and 1 carryover from the month of January. I could probably do another carryover because I still haven't read one of my review copies, but we are going to go into this month somewhat fresh, and I'll try and put in that review copy in later months in the year. So we'll start off with the carryover, and that is going to be the Bonehunters by Steven Erikson. I really wanted to, outside of the mood reads that I did in January, wanted to sort of focus on some of the review copies that have been sitting in my inbox for a long time. So I ended up doing that. Roger, who I've been doing this buddy read for with Malazan, has blitzed Bonehunters, read it in a week, and I just ended up putting it right at the end of the month so that I could start it towards the end of January once I had done a few of those review copies, but it will carry over definitely into February because I'm not a fast reader when it comes to Malazan. I think I've said it before, but about 2 weeks with audiobooks on the side tends to be how long I take for those. So let's jump into the new stuff for February, starting off with Wistful Ascending by JCM Burns' This is Hybrid Helix, book number 1. My audiobook time has gone up, so my workplace from the place we're currently staying is an hour and 10 minutes away. And I go into the office 2 days a week, so that's 4 hours in a week of being able to listen, not to mention walking the dog and going to the gym when I can get there, because that's also quite far from where we are. So I'm hoping to get a fair bit on audio done, and the first audiobook is going to be Wistful Ascending. This says a superhero space opera for grown-ups. I know there are a few people that are really gunning for me to like this series, so I really liked Partial Function, so I'm hoping that I like this one as well. It says for fans of Guardians of the Galaxy or Invincible, like Dragon Ball Z, but wish it had a little more hard science fiction to it. This sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. The Ildrek Empire spans half a galaxy, built on the feet and fists of their powered hybrid children. At 8, Rohan of Earth learned that he was only half human. By 16, he was an active superhero using his inherited powers to fight crime in mask and spandex. At 22, he left his home to fight for his father's people, expanding on the Ildrak Empire and protecting it from local and interdimensional threats. At 32, exhausted by 10 years of ruthless warfare, he retired to Wistful, a vast, sentient independent space station, to try and live a normal life. With a steady job, someone far out of his league to date, and the most cosmopolitan selection of fine dining in the sector, things are looking up. Then, a long dormant wormhole in the Wistful system is opened by a ship full of refugees, drawing unwanted attention from the Empire. The appearance of the refugees sets off a chain of events that will force Rohan to confront his checkered past and cast doubt on whether he can ever leave behind his violent warrior heritage. To keep his friends safe and himself in one piece, Rohan must face giant insects, body-skipping assassins, interesting, vengeful armored aliens, an inquisition of intelligent bears, and a team of his fellow hybrids. The open question is whether tapping into his savage alien powers will end up destroying the peaceful life he has been trying to build. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm hoping to enjoy it, so this will be the first one off the audio rank. The next audiobook I'll be reading is a buddy read continuation with Luke Winch, who's just come back to BookTube. So welcome back to Luke and Taylor from Mead Between the Pages. And this is the Dragon Riders of Pern, the first 3 books. So February will be book 2, which is Dragonquest. I did the first one on audio, really enjoyed the narration of the first one, so I will be continuing this one on audio as well. Then I'll be continuing on my Conqueror series with Kris Stefanavo from the last chapter. I'll put his channel down below. This is going to be book 4. So book 3 ended in a place that I didn't expect it to end, and that was Bones of the Hill. So I'm very interested to see what this continuation does in Empire of Silver. So that's book 4 of the Conqueror series, and then we'll only have 1 to go at the end of that. The next one I'm going to be picking up is a beta read by João F. Silva. So you might have heard his name from Seeds of War and also Ruins of Smoke. I have the beta read for book 2 currently sitting in my inbox, and that is Thorns of War. Thorns of something, I knew it was, but Thorns of War will be the first beta read that I do in the month of February. Then I have an arc which has been very kindly sent to me by Zachary Forbes, and one that sounds really cool, and this is Slipspace, Terra, Nullius by Zachary Forbes. So I did an SPSFC read for Zach and his brother Josh, quite enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to see where his work will go in a sci-fi sphere. And this says 2 brothers, 2 empires, and 2 definitions of what it means to be alive. Slip McMahon is a disgruntled veteran of the Terran Straits Republic, having retired from service when mechanical artificials slowly took the place of his living, breathing compatriots. He is caught up doing private work in the outskirts of the known galaxy when a strange job falls into his lap. It involves a girl, an ancient ore deposit, and all the money he needs to retire his aging mother. But his brother Breth, who still works for the Republic, has sworn to uphold the law by any means necessary. A major promotion hangs in the balance, as well as the future of warfare across the galaxy. This sounds like it's going to be really cool. I like Zach's writing in the book that I read, which is 3 Rivers Plague, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up. Then we jump into some review copies, which I would really like to get to in the month of February, and that is the Tome of Haren by Damien Francis here. I think I've had this on a list before, but I didn't get to it, so putting it back on in February in hopes that I can pick this one up. It says, the nation of Nareen is vulnerable. There hasn't been a keeper to protect and defend its people for over 150 years. As rumors of war grow, Nareen needs a keeper more than ever. Orphaned since birth, Ador has no expectations for life except surviving day to day. So when a legend from old stories claims that he is to be the next keeper, the powerful champions entrusted with defending Nareen, Ador must journey farther than he ever imagined in search of an artifact long thought lost, the Tome of Haren. Now Ador must contend with elite mercenaries called Blooders, hired to retrieve the tome for their mysterious and dark master. As the challenges mount and time draws nearer to the war to come, Ador questions whether he can live up to the legacy of the Keepers and save the nation of Nareen. It says, a modern classic for lovers of awesome fantasy fiction and great characters amongst glorious backdrops of worlds within our minds. That sounds delightful, and I'm very much looking forward to it. The next 2 review copies are on the shorter side, which is fantastic news for me. And the first is one that I've been looking forward to since I heard about it. This is Help, My Dog is the Chosen One by Ronit J. It says, Cornell is forced to adventure because his dog is the chosen one. Cornell is just your average guy living on rent in Mumbai, working from home and suffering from anxiety. His world is turned upside down when his girlfriend asks him to foster a rescued street dog. Despite his qualm, Cornell agrees because what's the worst that can happen? That's when the extra-dimensional Dark Lord attacks. The dog is the only one who can stop the Dark Lord, but he can't do it without Cornell's help. Can Cornell overcome his many anxieties, or will our world suffer for eternity? It just sounds like it's going to be a fast, fun read, which is absolutely delightful. And speaking of fun and fast, I now have Magic and Mead, a cozy mystery set in a fantasy world by Rachel Parisi. This one sounds absolutely delightful and again queer normative, which we love. High fantasy meets cozy mystery in a baked-in lesbian romance. When Clara O'Connell decided it was finally time to shake things up, she had envisioned getting an edgy haircut, renewing her quest for the perfect girlfriend, or maybe just cancelling her cable. What she couldn't possibly have imagined was being dropped into another world, one that resembled the magical role-playing game fantasy realms she had once loved playing in for years. Other things Clara could not have imagined: the dead body she bumped into with minutes of arriving into the new world, becoming a murder suspect, and coming face to face with dwarves, dragonkind, orcs, and more. And definitely not realizing that she had been unlucky at love because her type was apparently a sexy, gorgeous lady elf named Laura. One thing is certain, Clara is shaking things up in every way. Will this new world be what she hadn't ever known she was looking for? It sounds magical, it sounds delightful. I am looking forward to I guess, challenging some of my own reading, not beliefs so much, but what I think in my reading tastes, because I have been pleasantly surprised in the past, and that means adding more romances in and adding more cozy fantasy into my reading and adding more sci-fi in. So I think that this list that I have here does all that. Now, if I do get time, I will be adding in a series continuation in here to finish up the Forging of Age duology by Tatiana Obe. I'm hoping to finish up this one with Dragon Your Bones. I read Bones to the Wind in 2023, and I really want to add in Dragon Your Bones so I can finish the duology off this year. I know that Tatiana said that this year is a writing year for her. She's not looking at actually putting out any new work, but definitely next year is looking like a huge Tatiana Obe year, so I need to get caught up there. That is what I'm planning to read in the month of February of 2024. What are you planning to read? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.